Welcome to the Phorest FM podcast, episode 52. I'm Killian Vigna.
And I'm Zoe Belisle-Springer.
Today we invite renowned salon coach David Barnett onto our show to share his secrets for getting more retail products out your door in time for Christmas.
As always, we top off the show with our upcoming Phorest Academy webinars.
This podcast is produced every Monday morning for your enjoyment with a cup of coffee on your day off. Now, let's get into the show. Good morning, Zoe.
Good morning, Killian.
So, very excited about this one. We were talking to David just there last week. And
when he came into the office,
Yeah, he was in the office there last week. And we're like, you know what? While we had David, we thought it would have been a wasted opportunity to let him walk out the door. So, today we have a very special guest on our show, David Barnett of the Performance Stylist. David has spent a career working for some of the world's leading salons in the UK, Ireland and the US, with some of his work featured on New York Fashion Week, the Grammys, the MTV Awards, and even had his California salon chosen to do a pop-up salon for the VIPs at the Super Bowl. Welcome to the show, David.
Thanks a lot, Killian. Absolute pleasure to be on.
That is some feat that I've just announced.
I don't think I've ever heard it listed off like that. It sounded pretty impressive to me, even.
That was just a once-off. I'm very impressed with the pop-up salon for the VIPs at the Super Bowl.
That must have been an incredible experience.
Yeah. Well, sorry, that's the most relatable for me.
Yeah, it was. It was one of those things that. This industry, the hair industry, is just absolutely incredible for meeting people, right? I mean, you never know who's going to be sitting in your chair. And when I was, the salon that I owned in California was about an hour outside of San Francisco. And one of my clients just happens to be, his name's Keith Bruce, and he just happened to be the CEO of the Super Bowl. They have a different CEO every 3 years. Okay, so it takes basically the company is formed, and whoever is CEO is CEO for 3 years while they're building up to the big event, wherever it's going to be, and they change it every 3 years. And he happened to be the CEO for the 50th Super Bowl, which is going to be held in San Francisco. And he's sitting in my chair one day, and we're having a chat, and he's telling me about, who's possibly going to be singing. And of course, the halftime show is a huge, huge event, and some of the VIPs that are going to be there. And I said to him, Keith, I want to get involved. How can I get involved? And he was like, well, I don't know, give me some ideas. And I thought, well, this is all about the guys. It's all about the dudes, it's all about this great day for the males, right? I said, what about all the women? All the women go too. I said, what about if we did this pop-up VIP area where we had some neck and shoulder massages going on. We did some hair services as well, and just had this really cool area. And he was like, oh my God, I absolutely love it. He said, it's never been done before. He said, but I love the idea of us doing something for the women as well. So that was it. It kind of just went from there then. He just kind of ran with it. And next thing he comes back to me and said, we've got it pushed through, and absolutely we're going to do it. So, I was an Aveda salon. So I got hold of the Aveda team as well, and they came down there with me. And we ended up doing this great pop-up VIP salon. And it was amazing. It was great. It was a huge hit. And actually the lady that was going to be doing the following Super Bowl, she came up to me and she was like, what is this? I've never seen anything like this before. No one told me about this. Oh, we need to have this now as well. We got to have this Super Bowl. So I think we started this new trend anyway. So it was cool.
So this all just started by chance. You didn't even really know who this guy was, sitting in your chair, bit of chit chat, and now you're doing that. You've created a new trend.
Yeah, we'd actually become friendly. His daughters were a similar age to my children, and after coming in he'd been coming into my salon for probably about a year or so. So I knew that he was heavily involved in sport, and then he kind of threw his hat in the ring for the CEO position for this, because you get that role, and basically the world's your oyster. You can do whatever you want in sport once you've got that position. So he got it. And then from there we of course we were talking about it all the time whenever I saw him.
Yeah, of course.
That's class.
How can you get involved? I was like, well, let me let me throw this idea out there.
But that's amazing, because I mean, you've started your own career at the age of 16, and hairdressing has been in your family for generations. So now it's just taking it up to the next step. And what's going to happen for your kids? I mean, they've had a huge step to follow up on.
You've really set the bar for your kids now. That's a bit unfair.
We'll see where that goes. But, I mean, like I just said, I mean, I believe that this industry that we have, it opens so many doors for us, because you just never know who's going to sit in your chair. I mean, there's no way in the world I could have possibly got into that circle, without me being a hairdresser and just having that person sit in my chair and then just opening my mouth and asking. I'm a firm believer in asking people who are in your chair, if they can help in any way, or if you can help them in any way. And it's amazing just what happens when you do that.
And I'm sure being a likable guy also helped there, because he wasn't going to do it with someone that he didn't really get on with. So that's a credit there as well, David.
Well, maybe, yeah. I guess if you didn't like me, you probably would have said no.
So,
a couple of free haircuts came his way after that. I have to say that as well.
So just to take it back a little bit, so Zoe was saying that you've been kind of doing this for a good chunk of your life at the moment. For anyone out there who mightn't have heard, what is the high performance stylist?
Oh, okay. So, after being in this industry for so many years, and I feel so blessed to have had so many successes, working for some of the top salons in the world. And then going on to open my own salon that ended up being really successful for me. I just realized that a lot of the success that I had was due to the business strategies that I really understood. A lot of them I was taught along the way. A lot of them I kind of figured out myself and started to apply them to my own business. And I realized that this was an area that a lot of stylists just don't really understand or have never been taught to understand. I've seen so many amazingly talented stylists in the world, and they're still living paycheck to paycheck because they don't understand the business systems. They haven't got them in place. They've never been shown them. So after I sold my business, I went into full-time coaching. Okay, so coaching salon owners, coaching individual stylists in the systems and strategies to become highly successful, to earn six figures behind the chair, or to become a multi-million-dollar salon, multi-million-pound salon.
And I suppose it is easy to say like that you're moving with the times to be able to progress. It's easy to say that when you're feeling so overwhelmed, you can look and go, oh, he had it easy, like he's doing well, everything's just worked great for him. You've gone through that rough period as well. Like it hasn't been easy for you the whole way either, which is why you're able to turn around as a consultant, as a mentor, and I suppose give the tricks that works. Yeah.
Pay it forward, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, I know that we haven't got a lot of time today, so I don't want to get into the full story, but, when I opened my salon, it was really at rock bottom. I was in a town where I knew absolutely nobody. I was desperately eating into a lot of my savings. I mean, I was staying on a friend's couch. A house that I bought with my father a few years before went into foreclosure. Now, there is a story behind all this, but yeah, we were at rock bottom. We had zero clientele.
Yeah.
Knew nobody in this little town where we decided to open this salon, and managed to get it open on a shoestring budget and just build it from literally nothing into a multi-million-dollar salon. And that was then, at the end, very, very sellable as well. We ended up selling the business. And it was kind of like the American dream. It really was.
It's persistence, yeah.
So rapidly for me. We went from no clients to be completely fully booked in just under 3 months. And then I was able to teach the other stylists that joined me the same systems that I were using, and they got the same results as well. And we had multiple stylists earning over 6 figures, and it wasn't because we were charging crazy amounts of money for the haircuts or for the colors. We were charging $45 was the starting point for a haircut, and I was charging a bit more than that. I started at $75 and worked my way up to $100. But color was starting at around $70 and going up to about $130 for a full head of highlights. So we were very much kind of middle of the road regarding our price point, but it was the level of service that we were offering that they couldn't get anywhere else, and even though this was a tiny little town, just 10,000 people, we became like the place to go.
Yeah, because like we've said it before, we're kind of going into the experience economy now. So where before it was the service where we do it for you, now it's the experiences, what you're offering the clients to come in. So if you're offering a great experience, your clients are going to be, they're going to be happy to pay that little bit extra, or they're going to be happy to invite all their friends and come back time and time again. It's not all just coming in for that quick discount here and getting back out. So the reason we're having you on the show today is because we are going to do a couple of podcast episodes with you over the next few months. But we just thought it'd be a great time now that we have you to, I suppose,
chat about retail.
Yeah, like
Christmas.
We're a couple of weeks out from Christmas.
Right.
One thing that's on everyone's mind is, how do I get that little bit extra? Because your December is essentially booked out. So how do we maximize that December, maximize the January? And one thing that came up was retail products.
Yeah, 100%. I'm glad you mentioned the exceptional service piece, and because that is 100% what it's all about now. The minimum expectation of any client coming into a salon today is that she's going to get an amazing haircut and an amazing color. All right. That used to be like, okay, that's all we need to do. And, clients are going to be blown away. Now they completely expect it. So it's like, what else can we be given? And, I think when you talk about, or when you think about exceptional service, then you start to think about, oh, well, does that mean that I have to have these, fancy cappuccinos and different things like that, And there's other things that we can be doing that cost us absolutely nothing, that can just immediately give the guest the feeling that we are an absolute professional. We are the best of the best. We are experts. This is a service that you've never had before. And definitely part of that is to do with the retail service, because it's an area that a lot of stylists out there seem to kind of either sway away from or just really can't be bothered to do it, And I think what we need to realize is it's not about us doing this hard sell. Okay, it's about delivering exceptional service. It's about educating the guest in what we're using and why we're using it. They want to know this stuff. And when we start to talk about it, and we talk about every product that we use and the benefits, then we come across immediately as an expert. We are head and shoulders above other people, because there's not a lot of stylists out there that are doing this. Okay, not on a consistent basis. Yes, we talk about stuff every now and again, or if there's a new product like an Olaplex or something like that, then okay, we start talking about it. Mm-hmm. But to do it with every single product that we pick up, and to make it something that is just completely natural to us, to our level of service, that is not being done in every salon. And the salons that are doing it are just reaping the benefits. It's incredible the things that are happening in these salons. Just to give you a little idea, the salon that I had, now we had about 8 stylists. Okay, so there was 8 chairs in my salon. We were doing about $1 million a year. Okay, in total revenue. Now, the average for a regular salon to do retail sales, the average at the moment is between about 5 and 7%. Okay, that's the amount of gross revenue from retail sales. In the salon that I had, we were basically constantly doing 25%, and then we hit that up to 30%. And this wasn't because of any type of special products that we were selling. We were selling the Veda products, which are kind of, again, very middle of the road kind of product line. It's not seen as a high end, it's not low end. It's a very middle of the road product line. And, we weren't doing anything special apart from a system that I'm going to tell you about right now. And I just made sure that every single team member were doing this system. And I always made it about educating the guest. I was never talking to my team about, I need you to do more product sales. You need to be selling more. It wasn't about that. All I asked them to do was to educate them on every single product that you pick up.
Yeah, and in return, you get to scale your business without needing to hire more and more people in the end.
Exactly. It's all about that that docket, right? I mean, how much is each guest really spending with you? You know, a lot of salons that I come across out there now, they feel like they need to be marketing to new guests. They feel like they need to have more people coming through the door, where in a matter of fact, they actually don't need that. What they need is to just be up in the service, you know, doing more retail, doing more add-ons. They have plenty of guests. They just need to make the quality of the experience more exceptional.
I love what you're saying about the whole educate thing, because me and my hair, like I love going into a barber's and being like, tell you what, they go, what do you want to get done? I go, you do what you,
magic.
you do your magic. Like, I'm going into you for this, like, professional service, for this advice. Now, only for the fact I'm someone that constantly asks questions. Every time they do something with my hair, if they put a spray in or if they put a different type of gel in it, because I've got really thick hair, so it's hard to find good gel. I'm always asking them what product they've done it and how are they kind of mixing it into my hair and stuff like that.
Right.
So that's them telling me, giving me the advice and stuff like that. But not all of your clients are going to ask questions.
Right.
But all of your clients do want to know why you're using what in their hair.
Well, even if it's not in the salon, I mean, clients are just getting more savvy on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. I mean, the internet is such an accessible thing now, but when you come to think about it, the internet's not going to personalize the products to you. Whereas if you go in a salon, you get personalized advice. And
you're rubbing your hands through my hair for an hour. You know how it feels, how it takes, how it's going to hold and stuff like that. I can walk into a shop and I can get these products I don't even know if they're much cheaper, because like I'm saying, I'm going to a barber, so I'm fairly limited in what I buy. But I don't have any advice. So I'm looking at a shelf of hundreds of products and I'm going, what? Where when I go into you, you're actually telling me the difference between each one and why I should be using what.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of hairdressers out there that like to use the excuse that, they're just going to go and buy it online. They'll buy it online. I'm telling you now, 95% of clients coming through the door would much, much rather buy it from a professional who's given them great advice on exactly what they're using and why they're using it and when to use it. You know, I mean, that's what you need. They're going to buy from you every single time if you're having the conversation. If you're not, then yes, okay, they're going to go away and probably go online or go down to the supermarket and grab something off the shelf, you know, and hope it works. And the other thing is that when they go and do that and they realize that they're not getting, you know, the look that they wanted, they don't blame the product, they blame the hairdresser who cut it. You know? That's the other thing as well. You know, half the time it's not, it wasn't a product. No, the product's fine. It's the way you cut it last time, it just wasn't sitting right. You know, and quite often it can be the product. So again, it's just another piece that makes it so important that we're doing that. And the other thing is that if we are talking to the guest and they are buying retail from us, they are so much more likely to come and rebook with us as well. You know, there's like a 70% higher chance of them rebooking with us if we have if we've sold a product to them as well. You know, it just means that they really believe us, they trust us.
So you were saying that you had a particular kind of way to do this in your salon.
Yes.
Do you want to walk us through that?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, let me just tell you a quick story, right, and how this all came about. One of my managers in New York, and I was working in John Barrett's salon in New York. Now, this place, it does $12 million a year. It does $1 million a month. And they have unbelievable service in there. And that's when I realized that it was service over the standard of technical service that is so important. You know, it's customer service. And I remember one day my manager came up to me and she said to me, David, you know, you should be doing more retail sales than you're doing right now. And I had the kind of textbook reaction to that or reply to that. And that was, my clients already spend $200 on a haircut. There's no way in the world that they're going to spend any more money on products. You know, they don't need it. And she said something to me that I will never forget. She said, David, get your head out of your client's purse. Meaning, do not make the decision for them. It is none of your business whether you feel they can afford it or not, or whether they feel that they deserve to buy a product. All you need to do is to educate your guest on what you're doing and let them make that decision. And I was like, oh my God, that is so true. It's none of my business.
That's a fantastic
I do my
kick.
job, you know? And I think there's so many hairdressers out there that think the same thing. You know, my client can't afford it. I know her. Oh, I know her years. She never buys anything. Have you ever told her about a product? You know? So,
and I suppose if they're paying 200 quid, what's an extra couple of quid on top of that?
Exactly. Very true.
So apart from your whole educate system, or your educate,
Yeah.
do you have any other, like, or do you need to incentivize your staff anymore, or is that enough?
Regarding what?
Sorry, regarding the retail products. So you're educating your clients on the retail products.
Yeah, so I've got like a 3-step process that we use. Okay, so the first thing is I used to have this trigger, I call it, that every time I picked up a product, I covered 3 topics. Now, you could be in mid-conversation with your client about her daughter's wedding or something, but if I picked up a product, I would always say to them, let me just tell you about this product before I use it, because it's absolutely incredible. It's perfect for your hair. And I would tell them what I'm using, why I'm using it, and when to use it. Okay, so what, why, and when. Then I would place the product right in front of her on my uncluttered station, so it's there on its own. And 9 times out of 10, she would pick up the product. She would read it and ask me probably a couple more questions, probably smell it, you know, and just kind of check it out for herself. Then I carry on with the service, okay? So we carry on as normal, go back to the conversation about her and her new dog or whatever it is. Then at the end of the service, this is the key piece, all right? This is the stuff that makes all of the difference. By the end of the service, you should have talked about at least 3 products. So perhaps it was a shampoo or a conditioner, perhaps it was a styling product, perhaps it was a finishing product. 3 products have to go to the front desk. Okay, so then if you've got somebody that checks people out for you, so you've got a front desk person or a receptionist or a retail manager, you've got the 3 products up front, and you say to her, this is what I use today. She then says to the guest, these are the products that David used on your hair today. Did you need anything for home? And that is it. Now, the reason that we have 3 products up there is for this reason. If you put 1 up there, then of course there is a good chance that she has a full bottle of shampoo at home already and she doesn't need it. But if you put 3 up there, either there's a chance that she has run out of one of them, or she just feels that she deserves either another product or she wants to try it. She's never used it before. She wants to try it. So 3 is the magic number. Often my clients would take in all 3 products, but 9 times out of 10, they would take in at least 1.
That is absolutely
That's really
genius.
brilliant.
I've never thought of that before. So talk about the product and sit it in front of them and then bring it to the till again.
It has to be 3 up front, you know. And like I said, this was just something that was the culture in my salon. It was like me going in and turning on the lights in the morning.
Just became habit.
It was something that happened with every single guest. And, you know, I had to actually think about what is the 3-step process. When I decided that I needed to teach this, I was like, oh, what is it that we do? You know? And when I put it down into this 3-step process, it was so easy to put across to the team. They didn't feel like it was a hard sell. And then you're letting your front desk person know. Obviously, if you are checking out your guest yourself, if you're taking the bill at the end of the service, then you just say, these are the products that I use today. Did you need anything for home? But other than that, there's no hard sell. She knows all about the products because you've been talking about them. She knows how they work and when she needs to use them. She can see the results already, you know, so after you blow dried her hair, after you finish it, you're talking about it. Feel your hair now. Doesn't that feel amazing? Look at the shine on it, you know, and you're talking about the product. And you're just educating. That's all you're doing. There's no hard sell involved whatsoever.
That's absolutely brilliant. Do you do anything special for Christmas?
Oh, absolutely. You know, Christmas is, of course, you know, we can do over 50% of our annual retail sales, so of our yearly retail sales in the month of December. It is crazy. You know, it just goes absolutely ballistic. And yes, definitely, we're always ordering in loads of the Christmas packages. You know, you can definitely be offering a wrapping service, which I think is huge, especially when you get the guys coming in saying, I need some product for the missus. You know, okay, we can have that for you as well. You know, so, I mean, I think that's a huge benefit. And then another thing that we used to love to do was to have a Christmas party, not for just the team to get hammered, but also for the clients, And when we invited the clients in, again, it wasn't just about drinks and food. We'd do it around the retail. So we'd invite them in. We'd have the wrapping service going on right there and then. And then another thing that we used to love to do was get one of those like Wheel of Fortunes. So, I ordered this wheel online, and it was like, we had all these different segments in it. So we put different things in there, normally service related, like a complimentary haircut or a $50 gift certificate, and different things, different products in there as well. And if the client spent $75 or more, she got to spin the wheel, and every spin wins.
So there's a little incentive as well behind it. It's not just completely a free product.
Exactly. And then we leave that up. After the party, leave it up for the next couple of weeks. And the same deal, if you spend $75, or it could even be less than that, of course, it could be $30 that you spend, and you get to spin the wheel. And, the prizes in there were normally anything from $20 to $100. And because they just absolutely loved it,
I'd say that salon looked class at Christmas. Just the fact you have a Wheel of Fortune sitting in the salon.
It was a fun place
and then a gift wrapping station. And like you said, it makes it so much easier for the partners that you can just waltz in, get an excellent package like there and then. So I suppose just to kind of wrap it up, because like all that information is absolutely brilliant. Do you have any, I suppose, last minute tips? Because like I said, we're a month out, just about 5 weeks. Yeah. 5 weeks for Christmas. So it's a bit of a last ditch. Your salon books are probably full up for December. Do you have any, I suppose, tips for retail for January to get customers to come back in or anything like that?
Yeah. I think first of all, for the retail portion for Christmas, it's really important that you break down your goals to a daily basis. We all have these ideas of, okay, this is the number I need to hit. I want to do 10,000 in sales for the month of December. Break that down to a daily basis. It's really important that you do that and that you're talking about it to your team. We always did these daily huddles, which was a quick meeting in the morning, a touch base with the entire team. If you're not doing that, I highly, highly recommend it. I've got there's a Facebook Live I did, which is on my Facebook page a couple of months ago, and I go through the whole step-by-step process of the daily huddle and what that looks like. But I think you need to be connecting with your team every day. You need to be having the conversation, and you need to be setting that goal on a daily basis so it sounds achievable, because 10,000 euro or $10,000, whatever it is, sounds like a huge number. But when you break it down to a daily basis, it's so achievable. And then I think it's just making sure that you are starting to bring in this culture. If you haven't got a system in place that all of the stylists are using right now, it's time to put one in place. The most successful salons in the world that I get to work with now are the ones that have systems for every single thing that they do. They have a culture there that the stylists are able to follow step by step. And stylists love that. It's like you kind of think of it as, does that sound like micromanagement? Am I going to be on them all of the time? If you don't show them the way that you want things done, they're not going to be able to do it. And I think that as salon owners, sometimes we expect them to just know, and they don't. They don't. So I think that's really important. And like I said, if you're doing retail sales and the sales are just flying, people are going to be rebooking. So again, this is going to really help you with getting those appointments in for the new year. And another great way of doing that, of course, is with gift certificate sales as well. Making sure you're talking about gift certificates over the holiday season. It's a great gift for your next door neighbor or your school teacher or your sister or someone that you just don't know what to get them. Gift certificate for a salon is great because there's a number of different services that they can come in and get, and they're normally going to book that in the new year. So a great way to get people in the door in January and February.
And you can always put a little spin on it and say that there's a minimum spend or something like that. Like when we're saying about the attitude of gratitude, if you were to give out those free cards with a couple of quid, it's guaranteed they're going to come back in. But your clients are always going to spend more than the value of that gift card as well. Yeah,
exactly. Yes.
So it's a win-win.
100%. You know, another thing that I would like to do for your listeners, seeing we're in the holiday season, and I love Christmas, and Thanksgiving was also a really big deal for me. You know, of course, I was only introduced to it when I moved to the States, and my wife is American. Both my children are US citizens as well, and I loved Thanksgiving. And what I would love to do for the listeners is, as a way of saying thank you for all you do for the hairdressing industry, is to offer them, if they need to jump on a call with me, if they have something going on with their business that they've been trying to figure out and they're really stuck, I would like to offer them a complimentary 30-minute phone call with me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my schedule for the next couple of weeks, and I will pass on a link to you guys. If you can post it, that would be fantastic.
Of course.
Wow, yeah, that would be brilliant.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, if they've got anything going on with their business or with their team members, or even with their career, if you're a stylist behind the chair and you just want some help or some advice with your career, I'd be more than happy to share and to help. Yeah, you can just click on the link and it will go directly to my schedule. There's a little questionnaire there so I can get a bit more information about you before we jump on the call. And then, yeah, I'd be happy to help.
100% pushing that now that you're willing to give your time up for that. Yeah, so that's the High Performance Stylist with David Barnett. Jump on that, because the information we've just learned here in 20 minutes, what can you get for 30? Personalized as well.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So,
you know, that's the big thing about hairdressing is that every single business is different. You know, when we started the coaching program, we couldn't just do one cookie cutter, one size fits all. You know, it's all about one-on-one attention, you know, being able to figure out, okay, what's going on with your business and where do you need the help, you know? So every business is different.
Well, it's been absolutely fantastic having you on the show, and thanks very much for tuning in today, David.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thanks a lot, guys. It was awesome.
Take it easy.
Bye-bye.
So that was David Barnett on the show with some great insights into, I suppose, how to get the most out of your retail just in time for Christmas as well. So that brings us on to our final stages.
Our Phorest Academy webinars, and indeed we do have one today, and it is the Salon Instagram Masterclass. So again, a monthly one. We talked about it last week. It's an hour-long webinar with Chris Brennan. It goes through how to set up your Instagram account the right way, how to get the best out of it. And it's from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. UK Ireland time, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. US Eastern Time. And you can sign up through our Facebook page. In the event section, there's an event called Salon Instagram Masterclass. You click on Get Tickets there, and you'll be redirected to a page where you can fill in your details to get your link.
Yeah, and then we have the second last of our Salon Growth Series, how to boost your online presence and attract new business. So that one there, again, is for Phorest Salon Software clients. So if you want to get onto that webinar, just email grow@phorest.com, or you can always give us a call here and we'll get you onto that.
So next week it's going to be our monthly roundup episode already, and so we'll leave you on that today. Have a wonderful week, and we'll catch you next Monday.
All the best.